Hello everybody and welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where we take 3 comics united under a theme and then tell you which one's the good, the bad, and the ugly based on a hidden criteria that only we know about. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Today's theme is Ms. Marvel comics. We've got Ms. Marvel number 2, Ms. Marvel number 1, and Ms. Marvel number 1. All these are from different times in Ms. Marvel's lives. Some of them involve different Ms. Marvels entirely. This is the first series from Ms. Marvel number 2, starring Carol Danvers. This is from the second or third era of Ms. Marvel.
So 2006, I think.
2006. This is the second Ms. Marvel number 1, starring Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
It is the post-Secret Wars era Ms. Marvel number 1.
2016?
Yes. And the reason why we're doing this one is because this is the one we had. So, jumping into them, they're very different Ms. Marvels. Let's talk about them. Ben, tell us about Ms. Marvel number 2.
Okay. Yay. Ms. Marvel number 2 is a very interesting comic because there is a whole lot of talking in it. Like, this thing is jam-packed with words. So, it was written by Jerry Conway, who was also the editor at the time, which is telling. Art by John Buscema and Joe Sinnott. So, in this, Ms. Marvel is trouncing the Scorpion, who apparently, this is on film. I can't tell if it's live or it was recorded, but she's beating him, and there are people watching it.
It's from the first issue.
And it's AIM, and they look fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, that's advanced idea mechanics, by the way, which they do identify every time they appear in a book.
And then there's a Dr. Corman, who in this also becomes the Destructor, which is cool.
Yeah, that's a great name.
He's pretty cool.
He's got a good costume, too.
He's okay, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
As it turns out, AIM is really interested in getting Ms. Marvel's suit because she has this flight technology in it that they've never seen before, that they studied with X-ray, and they're like, we want it! They have him in like a healing tank because apparently he didn't die after the acid bath that Ms. Marvel
made him take or whatever.
I guess in issue 1,
yeah,
she threw him in an acid bath.
Issue 1.
And they rescued him.
By the way, crazy that like they were like, okay, here's Ms. Marvel. She's going to fight a Spider-Man villain, and she's going to hang out with the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery cast. Like,
right?
she's going to work for the Daily Bugle?
J. Jonah Jameson's in the first one, too.
He is.
Like, they're just like...
So is Mary Jane.
Why not?
And in the second one. Corman reveals that he's going to be the Destructor.
He displays his power against a helpless piece of machinery.
Inside, and you'd think that AIM would be really upset by this.
Right?
They're like,
I mean, they seemed agitated, but
check
like,
out my powers! I'll use it on this thing that can't fight back.
like, rad.
No,
they had just been making fun of him. They're like, well, what are you going to do? You're like a scientist.
Yeah,
like,
the Scorpion couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
Well, he's got tachyon blast.
That's
yeah.
right.
But if I was just like, hey, check out this new costume I have, and I trounced the scene,
I'd be pretty pissed.
yeah! AIM is just like, that's fine.
This happens all the time.
They like busy work. They're probably excited to do it.
That's why we have insurance.
They want to be busy as bees.
That's why they were wearing their hive suits.
Yeah.
So we drop in on Ms. Marvel, Carol Danvers, in her normal Carol Danvers life, writing and talking about like how she's doing a column for J. Jonah Jameson because she's working there. And then Mary Jane comes in because apparently this is at the office. Everyone else has gone home. And they're like, hey, let's grab some dinner. So they go out. They're starting to eat. And then she starts getting a headache. And she's like, oh, I don't feel so good. And MJ's like, oh, again, another headache? Like the one you had last time? She's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I got to go lie down. So she gets in a cab. And she blacks out.
Yeah. Which, get used to that.
Yeah.
What, blacking out?
Carol Danvers blacking out. She blacks out 4 or 5 times in this book.
She blacked out like twice.
We cut back to the AIM headquarters, and the top AIM guy is talking to just a doctor in a white lab coat, being like, hey, so the Scorpion's recovery is going really good, like a little too good. I think he might wake up soon and freak out. So we should probably... Oh no, he's waking up and freaking out.
I'm Nostradamus
right now.
So...
I say, oh my dear Lord.
I know. I also like that.
Lord.
It's like he's patting himself on the back. I'm just saying, I do a really good job here.
Yeah.
It might have been too good.
Yeah.
Like somebody might have loosened his bands.
If we live through this, maybe I should get a raise for how good I am.
Oh dear Lord.
What is that?
I also like how graphically horrible it got. Scorpion. Oh my pain! God, the pain!
Screaming about how much pain he's in.
And that's
like,
all
very
he's
disturbing.
doing is screaming about the pain.
Yeah,
but
and
he's
breaking things.
He's absolutely wrecking these AIM agents.
Yeah.
Which is what they're there for.
So
Because they're like scientists or whatever. They
Well,
don't
they're
have
trying to
powers.
trying to stop him and contain him. Also, it looks like he broke out of a wooden crate.
I know it's.
Boards go everywhere. I think it's because he already got out of the tank.
That's the door?
And now he's busting through the door into that room that they're in. I guess.
Oh.
That makes a lot more sense.
Because he wasn't in the room.
No, he was in a tank.
He was in a tank in,
Yeah.
in another place, and they're having this conversation like elsewhere.
Right.
And then like, oh, here he is. He got
it'd be
out of
really
the tank like
rude.
5 minutes ago, I guess.
It'd be rude if they were talking about him while he was in the room with them. So.
Yeah.
That's also incredibly bad
Manners.
planning, where the entire facility has like a lot of like machinery and everything. But
And these
we want
wooden
these
doors.
oak doors.
Shouldn't be any wooden doors.
No.
In the building. It's all high tech.
Yeah.
Except for that door.
Except for that very vintage door.
So
How does his costume on his mouth work?
It's just.
oh, it's either there or it's not there. It's a little a both on the entire thing.
It's a hole.
Well, his lips
Or
are
it's
like
not.
green.
Oh yeah, no. Sometimes they're green.
And then sometimes everything's covered over.
Yeah,
because they
the
didn't paint
costume
it right.
like wraps around
It
his
is
lip.
straight up a costume though. It's not his skin.
Right.
It's his costume. He is stuck in it though.
He's
What
stuck in
is
it.
up with Spider-Man villains being stuck in their costumes?
You should really only have one villain who's stuck in his costume.
I
Like
know.
that's your thing. You're stuck in a costume.
Right. That's your pathos.
Maybe
Right.
they could like form a group.
Yeah. Stuck.
The stuck.
We'll figure out what it stands for later.
So he gets out, and he doesn't know where he is or like what's going on.
He just knows he's in pain.
But he has to find that woman that threw him into the acid bath.
Yeah.
Because he wants to get his revenge.
Yeah.
And
Gonna get her.
he escapes into a department store because apparently the AIM headquarters
It's like
are just
right
a
on Fifth
basement
Avenue.
underneath the
No,
restaurant.
it's a front. He reasons as he's in incredible pain that the department store is a front for the AIM lab.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right.
And there are these guards that tell him to freeze, and he's like, I can't. I'd love to oblige, but my body's on fire.
I don't think he says it like that. He's not pleased about it.
I don't think he's coming on to them.
My
or
body's on
anything.
fire, baby.
Fire,
Like,
man.
no. He's like, ah, I'm on fire. They're like, holy crap.
Carol Danvers wakes up, and she's like, wait a minute. I'm in my bed. I don't remember how I got here. Oh, it's all happening again. Like, she thinks she's going crazy. She doesn't know what to do. So there's only one
Having a
man,
freak out.
one person in the world that can help her. And it's Dr. Michael Barnett,
Her therapist.
her therapist.
Like, really?
Well, I
All
mean,
right.
that's a reasonable
Fair
choice
enough.
to make.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, I'm in this superhero book. I need help. Who am I going to call? My psychiatrist.
Because apparently, I guess that's big at the time.
Well, I mean, like, psychiatry was, like, getting more in vogue, I suppose. The point is simply that we need to have her go under hypnosis. We need an
so-
origin story. We got to explain more.
This is her secret origin.
Dr.
We need her
Barnett,
to run into a character who's going to help her facilitate telling us what happened.
Dr. Barnett already has a patient that he's seeing, but she bursts in.
God, this patient.
I don't even want to get in it.
His name is George. He has trouble moving his car.
Hopefully this therapist can help him.
Oh yeah, he's a very specific character.
Dr.
Very,
Barnett's
very
like, whoa, whoa,
specific background.
I'm a doctor. I have a patient. She's like, but it's important. He's like, all right, man, get the hell out of here.
Fair enough.
Oh, it's
You're,
important.
you're hot. You're fat. Get out.
She's basically like, I'm not giving you a choice. You have to help me.
Fair enough.
Okay.
He's like, all right, Carol, you have amnesia about this whole thing, and the only way to can get through it is through hypnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're getting heavy, and your eyelids are getting heavy, and you're getting sleepy, and you're going to tell me everything. And she tells him everything.
Right.
So she remembers that she's being rescued by Captain Marvel. Or Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We
how
don't have to be so
pronounce it.
formal.
And there's an explosion behind them, and she thinks that she's going to die, but Captain Marvel is shielding her, but a little bit of the radiation is still getting through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He
she
shields
can-
her from the blast, but the
Blast.
radiation goes right through his body as she gets irradiated.
Yeah.
And she can feel it, and she's black. Like she'd already blacked out when he was carrying her, but she was still somehow conscious of it, or she's remembering.
Okay,
it.
you can't count that.
It's a flashback to her blacking out. That happened. Hypnosis also, she blacked
And, like,
out.
I don't think that counts as blacking out if you're hit with like a lot of radiation.
Yeah, she loses consciousness.
And the
she doesn't
hypnosis
remember what
is not her
happened.
blacking
Fair
out.
enough. All right.
Because she's talking to him.
Yeah. I got you.
But she's recalling like, I can't stay conscious. It's all fading. I'm blacked out again.
Right.
And
That's the first time she blacked
the
out.
doctor's like, of course she's blacking out. They're related to all this experience. Like it's just trauma. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Right. You got
No, he thinks
PTSD.
she's crazy.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Well,
I don't think he believes any of this.
He believes it later.
well, yeah, he
Like,
doesn't
right
believe
now.
it
He's
now.
like,
He's like,
yeah,
oh, you're a lunatic.
Yeah,
Okay.
he says in his thoughts, he's like, ah, jeez.
Yeah,
See, I
that's
have
what
a
everyone knows about her.
fundamental issue with that. Because if you know she was irradiated
Yeah.
and she was dealing with aliens, so then the next thing she says, really shouldn't shock you.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm a man of science, Tiffany.
Right, radiation should give
Psychological
you cancer.
science.
So's Reed Richards. He's a man of science as well. He
And-
can
and-
stretch every part of his
Yeah,
body.
he has a rock friend.
Yeah, but radiation just kills you, usually.
Not usually here.
Have you opened your window? The world outside your window.
And her body's glowing. She's becoming larger, stronger, different. And then suddenly, the woman called Captain Marvel appears, or Ms. Marvel appears.
Yeah.
And this is the doctor's like,
Oh.
no.
No.
That's why I'm like,
Crazy.
No. I was
So
with
wait.
you until...
no, you can't be, what? This is aliens.
I was with you all the way
Okay.
up to the point when
Yeah.
you transformed
It
into
actually completely holds together. Why
No.
are you shocked?
No, I've
Yeah.
seen Ms. Marvel. You're not Ms.
Well, that's the thing,
Marvel.
like, you
You're
don't
Carol
look like her.
Danvers.
Yeah, you have short. She
And
has
why would
shorter
you
hair.
not remember being her? That
No, it's not
doesn't
even
make any
shorter hair.
sense.
She has a perm.
Right.
That's right.
Good point.
yeah.
That's the unbelievable part.
So he gets her out of the trance, and she's like, "It is over. Can you get anything out?" He's like, "Oh man, how can I tell her that she's a victim of paranoid delusion?"
Yeah.
We have to go into this further, Carol. And she's like, "You mean it didn't work?" He's like, I'm afraid it didn't. But don't worry."
So he lies to her.
He lies to her.
Yep.
So,
And then she
Such a
blacks
good
out
doctor.
again.
wait, she just recently, there was a huge fight. Ms. Marvel shows up on the scene. It's clearly in all the newspapers.
Yep.
And he's like,
Yep.
Nah.
I mean, like, I
got
know,
irradiated
I
while
know.
Captain Marvel's holding
Yeah.
her.
Like, Captain Marvel was a part of this.
Yeah.
And this person in Ms. Marvel showed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike sucks.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's an awful therapist.
He's acting like it's a real doctor in the real world would act.
Yeah.
They're like, we have to write him like he's real so that it's like relatable.
Yeah.
But he's in a superhero world.
Right, or then
Where
don't have
this is
him
normal.
don't have
Yeah.
him believe the other stuff.
Right.
Right.
Just
About
have him be like,
aliens.
oh, she's just crazy.
Yeah,
Everything's
she
been
lost her
so-
job. She was dishonorably discharged. Like
You weren't
she's just an idiot.
irradiated. That's not
By Captain Marvel.
I can't believe this.
You created this fantasy to like justify why you got fired.
Right.
That's what's happening.
That would be interesting.
And you're
Yeah.
just coming here for the insurance to pay off in court. I get it.
Yeah. So she blacks out.
So
and
she
then
blacks
gets back
out. And he's like, "Oh my god!"
Third or
Wait a
fourth
minute.
time, depending
And
on
he
if you count.
catches her, and he's like, "Wait, her body's getting warmer.
Oh.
Oh, so warm I can hardly hold her.
Mine too.
And there's this weird light coming from her body. Carol, what's happening? Good lord!"
Dude,
Good lord.
she's asleep, man. Like, she's
Yeah, she
out.
can't
Like,
do it.
what?
Thankfully,
then-
she can't hear you.
He mentally thinks like, "I can see Carol's face, but what on earth?" And then it's Miss Marvel.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
just is Miss Marvel now.
Well, we needed him to deny that she could be Ms. Marvel so that she could prove that she is Ms. Marvel.
And
like,
the second she wakes up, she just brushes him off, and runs out the window and flies away.
yeah.
Bye.
No explanation, no nothing. As if she didn't even realize she was there.
It's almost like
Yeah.
in a trance. She doesn't acknowledge that she was just in a doctor's office
Nope.
at any point.
And this is the thing that pisses me off about this guy. He goes, "I must be going out of my mind. What I saw, I can't believe. Carol Danvers is Ms. Marvel."
Like,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
what she just told you.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, well, I'm still coming to grips with it, all right?
All right, well, Jesus.
Not every day you see a person literally transform into another person in front of your eyes.
I mean,
not
she really
another
just kind
person.
of put a different.
it's just a
Well,
different
it
costume.
It's
appeared
just-
on her body
It's just
somehow.
less
That's
clothing
weird.
than she was wearing a moment ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
My
like,
God,
I
Carol,
didn't see her take it off.
this is so indecent.
Right.
I can see your midriff.
He's like, I can give you a raspberry in your tummy right now.
Let's get to a cool scorpion fight
yeah,
instead.
now we're gonna
Good, yes.
now
Thank
she's
you.
just-
Jesus.
Now she's like, "Wait, I have to go somewhere."
Yeah,
like,
because she has like a weird power.
She has cosmic awareness.
she has a seventh sense.
sense.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, a seventh sense?
Yeah, because the sixth sense is like being able to like detect like
Ghosts.
incoming
Yeah.
things.
I think it's
projectiles and
telepathy.
stuff.
It's
Yeah.
like ESP.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the exact same thing.
No, this is like it's something's over there.
It's like a spider
I need it
sense,
over
but
there.
Oh,
not.
it's like a magnetic sense. Like she's being pulled towards danger.
It's not like I can sense danger coming at me. It's like I can sense someone needs help.
Exactly.
It's
that is the same
It's
thing.
like in the Spider-Man game when you know where crime is.
Yes.
Oh.
And you're like Tiffany, and you go flying at it as fast as possible because you're like, I have to fight crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the radar in a video game.
yeah,
Right.
it's exactly that.
Or the
and
mini
that's,
map.
And that's not
That
a
only
sixth
she can
sense?
see and knows that it's
That's a
No,
seventh
that's a seventh sense.
Yeah.
The sixth
What's
sense.
the eighth sense?
Well, we don't know.
We haven't gotten
Nobody
there
has
yet.
that. It's not a thing.
No one has that.
The editors have that. All right, so she gets down to where the scorpion is, like wrecking the town, looking for her.
Yeah.
She shows up, starts beating up the scorpion,
Yeah. Easily.
like
Right.
single-handedly doing all
He's
these
the
amazing
scorpion.
moves.
I mean, it sucks.
And he keeps like freaking out and screaming, "I'll kill you,
Yeah.
you!" Like and he gets more and more angry. And she has this wonderful line where she's like, "Why is it, Scorpion, that men always shout loudest when they know they're losing. And it just makes him shout louder.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Which has got to be hard because he's got that costume in his mouth.
Yeah, and it's wrapped around his lips.
And then a beam blasts her in the back.
Oh, no.
And she's knocked off balance.
Tachyon beam.
Oh, is it? It is.
Could that be my
obviously.
new favorite supervillain of all time?
Destructor?
Probably not.
Nah.
Nobody
But it
cares.
is. It's
Oh, good.
Destructor.
Yeah.
He shows up on scene on a flying disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does he get around? I don't know, a disc.
Give him something like the Green Goblin has.
Yeah. But with no obvious means of propulsion.
Well, like, the disc has these little, like, circles on it, just like the top chain.
It does match.
Theming.
Yeah.
Yes. And then she kicks him and knocks him into a fire hydrant. He goes unconscious. And then she blacks out again.
Or she just passes out from the pain.
She says, "Oh no, I'm passing out."
Yeah, she's passing out, not blacking
We don't
out.
know if she'll
got
remember.
She got hit with too many tachyons.
I don't think so. I think it's part of the whole
You
thing.
think she's going to revert back
But
to...
this is number 5. And then a crowd is watching them, wondering who's going to wake up first.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the narration, wondering who's going to wake up first to claim victory.
Yep.
No one calls the cops.
They will.
Well, I'm sure
Obviously
they did.
helps
Someone
Miss
called the
Marvel.
cops a few minutes ago.
But like, they're not going to... What are they going to do?
Yeah.
It's like a...
To be continued.
It's like a boxing match where they each like punched each other out and
Yeah.
they both fell on the ground.
So who's gonna get up
And they're
first?
both getting counted down. It's like whoever gets up first
No,
wins.
because she knocked him into a hydrant and then she got up,
That's
but then
true.
she fell
The
down.
count would start
so she
sooner
is
for
still the victor.
Yeah,
so
by
far.
boxing rules, yeah.
Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel number 2.
There she is.
Yep.
This is Ms. Marvel from like 2006.
Yep, 2006.
Written by Brian Reed and Roberto Della Torre.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or it's by them.
Oh.
It's just by them.
By them.
Okay, so they work together on a number of facets.
Yes, because like Palmiotti's the inker, so it's like,
Right.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
who knows?
who knows who did what?
Yeah.
Who knows who is to blame for this series? No, it's up to you. Whatever you want to say about it. I don't know. This gives you like a mini origin. Not really. It's more or less the Carol Danvers origin about her desires of like to fly and how she went to the Air Force after college or after high school. She just went right into the Air Force.
Yep.
And she flew, and then inevitably got like crazy powers, and now she can fly without a plane. And
Yep.
isn't that neat?
That's
neat.
cool.
And then she fights Stiltman because you want to start your Carol Danvers book out fighting Stiltman.
You need someone who she can easily defeat and
Yeah.
make a joke about it.
Exactly. While she's fighting Stiltman in the middle of New York, he clearly falls into like Central Park where there's like a bunch of little boys playing, and like two of them they're all dressed up like superheroes. One is Spider-Man, one is Wolverine, and one doesn't want to be Luke Cage, but like he's the one with the black leather jacket, so he has
Yes.
to be Luke Cage. They almost get hit by an oncoming car. Carol saves them.
A flying car.
A flying car. Well, it's still oncoming.
It's oncoming.
It's oncoming.
More
But it
than
wasn't
just
on a road. It's
I'd
not
say-
like it
Yeah.
shouldn't be in the park.
Incoming car.
An incoming car. She catches it and is like, "Hi, kids! I am being a superhero. Check it out." The guy in the car like hugs her by like burying his face in her chest.
He's like,
Like, oh, thank God, you saved my life.
She has the reaction of like, "Oh, okay,
oh,
right,
okay,
that's
well,
enough.
you've.
all right."
I get
thank
that
you.
I'm bigger than you. I get that you're hugging me because I saved your life, but
Everybody gets
please
one.
move your head.
Yeah, but then like while that's happening, like little tiny Spider-Man kid is like, "Look out behind you!" Because like here comes Stiltman.
Yep.
Oh no.
Takes the car, throws it into Stiltman. Stiltman falls down, and he says like, "Oh, I should have never tried this caper with knowing that my friendly neighborhood Ms. Marvel was in the area." And then we cut to what's actually going on, which is Jessica Drew and Carol Danvers having lunch together because they're pals. And Jessica Drew's like, "I call foul on that.
Yeah.
He would
He did
never
not
say
say
that."
He did not say that.
And she's like, "Well, what did he say?" "Well, he said, 'Who the hell are you?'"
Oh, that's much worse. Never mind.
Yeah, yes,
sorry.
yeah. Immediately, Jessica's like, "Oh, I shouldn't have.
Brought that up.
Sorry." She's like, "Well, you did then kick his ass, right?" She's like, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah, I
So-
kicked him in the dick 7 times.
Well, he blasted her. She absorbed the energy, and then she used that energy and like just kept nailing him in the junk
Yeah.
because she was so mad. She's just like, "I know it's immature, but
To be fair, I would do the same thing.
whatever." But that wasn't really the worst thing that happened to her that way or that day in terms of ego, because like she used to be an Avenger.
Yep.
Cap, I think, has asked if she wants to be an Avenger. Oh no, that's later on.
He had invited her, I think.
Yeah, but
it was
that's
after
later
the
on
New
that they
Avengers have
talk
been-
about
yeah.
this.
It's right out of House of M. So like the New Avengers have been established.
Yeah.
Apparently the Sentry is...
Yeah, he's part
Sentry
of the,
built this
Yeah.
dumb tower on top of the Avengers Tower.
He's part of the New Avengers.
Yes, Sentry's a member of the New Avengers.
So anyway, Carol was invited by this like PR agency
Yeah.
to be represented by like the #1 PR like person, the publicist for like Hollywood
Yeah.
and superheroes.
And
Yeah.
superheroes.
Yeah,
They're
trying
public
to-
figures.
She's trying to raise her
So
profile or
she
whatever.
Uh-huh.
she goes there. This woman meets her there. I can't remember her name. Her name's Sarah. So she meets Sarah Day, and they start chatting about like Carol Danvers. And Sarah's like, "I'm a huge fan of yours. Like, let's talk about like Ms. Marvel and like what she's doing and like what she can be on." And like she mentions who she represents. People like Captain America. I don't buy it.
Nope.
The Fantastic Four.
That I buy.
I only buy Johnny.
Yeah.
I buy the Fantastic Four.
Johnny would have signed them up.
Oh, yeah.
And the Astonishing X-Men.
Sure.
Again, no.
When the Astonishing X-Men were established, Cyclops wanted to give them a superhero look.
Yeah.
So I could see Cyclops being
Right.
like, all right,
But,
Cap,
like,
who do you got?
Cap, I don't
No.
see him caring enough.
Nope, especially
about
not
that
now.
kind of thing. So that's like out of the gate. I'm like,
Not by that.
all right, that's
You're
it's
a
really,
liar.
really
All she had to do
weird.
was say Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Fantastic Four and you'd be good. But they do get to make a joke about the X-Men because Jessica Drew's like, wait, the X-Men have a publicist? And she's like, I asked the same thing. And the
like,
woman,
ah.
it's the Astonishing X-Men.
It's all about that.
It's the
branding.
adjective. That makes the difference.
Yeah,
very
right now you're
important.
just Captain Marvel.
No, you're Ms.
Ms.
Marvel.
Marvel. Never been Captain Marvel yet.
You've got to be the stupendous Miss Marvel.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't get like a new adjective or anything, but
No.
anyway.
Like, she doesn't deserve one yet.
So
She's not there yet.
Yeah.
So Sarah tells Carol everything that she knows about her, which is quite extensive, including the fact that like last week she quit her Homeland Security job, and Jess is like, "Oh, you what?
You did? I was like, oh, I was gonna get to that.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. Hang on, stop interrupting me. Eat your salad." And so like she talks about like her various titles. How she's been Ms. Marvel, she's been Binary, she's been Warbird, which was kind of unfortunate.
Yep.
That her costume is her costume. She's like, not everybody could wear the thigh-high boots, but you pull it off.
Pull them off, yeah.
You pull it off.
I'll give you a gold star for that.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
did one thing right.
Being hot.
She's published a few novels.
Yes.
We were going back to the whole, she's a writer.
Yep.
Yeah, remember that?
Sarah's like, so let me ask you something. What if I put you on Letterman right now? What would you want to plug? What do you got? And she's like,
But it's like nothing.
Yeah.
I'm a superhero. What has Captain America got to plug?
right? Well, she's like,
Maybe
here's
some
the...
charity or something that he's.
I guess.
She's like, here's the thing. You got to have the answers at all times. You got to drip personality. Because here's the thing. Otherwise, how are you going to top Reed Richards doing a science experiment with kids?
Easily. That sounds
How about,
boring.
How about saving lives?
Yeah.
This is bullshit. I'm already over this meeting.
Yeah.
Right? And like Sarah's like, here's the thing. I didn't lie when I said I'm a big fan of yours. I am a big fan of yours, which is why I want to see you be
Succeed.
Yeah,
Right.
like more popular than you are. But maybe we should start a little smaller, like doing like some interviews or whatever. Which is funny because that's kind of going on currently in the Ms. Marvel or the Captain Marvel series that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Where like it didn't turn out the way that a PR interview might have actually gone
No.
because they went to another dimension or whatever. But
But there was a new
Sarah's
Captain
gonna be a-
Marvel book starring Carol Danvers, and she is like trying to raise her profile and like work with a like.
yeah, and it's like Tony hires some PR person
Yeah.
to help her out. They mentioned the fact that like
There's a show called Superpowers.
yeah, where they're
Yeah.
gonna put her on and they're gonna explain her powers, and she's like, I was just an Avenger, like not that long ago.
Right. I think people know who my powers.
Yeah, you were an
just-
Avenger when Vision flew a Quinjet into the building and everyone died.
Well, yeah, but
that was when you were an Avenger.
yeah. So
You were doing great until everyone died.
yeah, Jess brings up the thing too, where she's like, 6 months ago you were an Avenger. Why would you have to go on a show like that? And Carol's like, to be fair, Stiltman didn't know who I was.
Right.
Stiltman.
Yeah.
Stiltman sucks. Maybe he's not really plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So-
young people might know.
He's not a basis for like Stiltman does not have his finger on the pulse of the culture.
Plus, like, you maybe hit him in the
Maybe he
head,
does.
Yeah.
like right off the bat. Maybe
Exactly.
That's very
Exactly.
generous. You're very generous.
So essentially, like from all of this, she has this moment of clarity where she's like, I should be a better hero.
Right.
That's the end of it there. She's just like, I should be better than this. Like, I don't want to be an also ran.
Right.
Right.
we've
I'm
seen
so
them use
powerful,
before.
and yet nobody knows who I am.
I'm so powerful, and Marvel has no Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
What the hell?
Right.
I'm so
What am I
powerful,
doing?
and this is one of my first books.
Right. Well, she's also saying, oh, well, kind of. I mean,
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
but she's
like-
also
really what she's saying is that like it's just like you just like saved the sun from exploding, like you stopped that from happening. And she's like, yeah, and then immediately after that I didn't do anything for like 6 months.
right.
Like I should be doing this all the time, which is why I quit, because this is what my job should be, not doing other things. I should be making a real difference. I have all these powers, and what am I doing with them?
Sounds like you're gonna burn out.
Right? She's
I
like,
don't know about
I
that.
can be the best. I'm going to be the person that people look up to.
Right.
And
I'm
Jess
gonna be
is
the Superman of
Of the Marvel
Marvel
universe.
Right.
And in fact,
No,
this
you're
is
not.
this is spinning out of House of M when she was.
Yeah.
Like she was the Superman of the House of M Marvel universe.
Yeah. Right.
And she remembers being that. So when she comes out of House of M, she's like, that's what I could have been. Like and I could be that because I'm still her.
yeah.
Why didn't they mention that in this book?
I don't know.
Like they've got the motivation, but
No, I
not
don't
the reason
know.
for it. Okay.
So
But that's a good motivation.
Yeah.
Kind of. I find it petty and stupid, but I also understand. I think it's like, how about just be the
Well,
best
if you
can?
see like a better version of yourself, you might think,
Yeah,
like,
but-
what am I
but-
doing?
yeah,
Well, if
I
that
know.
version of me
It
like
feels
stepped
weak.
up,
right, yeah. So then Jess asks her if this is one of those like Carol things where it's just like, I'm going to do this for a month, and
Are you going to be Warbird again?
Well,
Like,
she like calls, and I thought this was kind of funny. That time she tried to do Atkins, and then they were at like at a zoo, and there was a monkey eating bananas, and she was screaming at it. She's
Yeah.
like, it's not going to be that, right?
no,
Right?
This is totally legit.
So then like she completely supports her, and then Carol's like, all right.
Other than that, she totally supports it.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna go on patrol. I haven't done this in forever. So she's just flying around. She's having a good time. And all of a sudden, there's a big shooting green laser kind of
Immediately.
beginning.
Would have been a
That's a
great
crazy
opportunity, by the way, for her to like bump into all the street level heroes who go on patrol
Yeah.
and being like, oh,
Yeah, but not up in
this
the sky.
This is covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like practically,
Well, yeah,
I could replace all of you.
they're like, yeah. How many person actors have you caught in the last year?
Right.
Year.
Well, I'm trying now, though. I wasn't trying then.
Hey.
Knock yourself out.
Hey, I stopped the sun from exploding. I got a break.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm stopping cosmic person.
did we see that happen?
Yeah. Which is another thing that actually is brought up in the new Captain Marvel series. So
Yeah.
interesting. Anyway, so upon seeing this green light beam thing going through the sky, she immediately calls Captain America because she doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey Cap, you sound busy. And like he is in the middle of South America somewhere on a SHIELD mission where he's just kicking the crap out of Hydra agents. I mean, like, that guy is dead, beyond dead. Like,
It looks like his
No.
throat gets crushed by Cap's boot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he
But
pulled
he's not
that.
like he's on the ground. Like he's upright and he still does this.
He's Hydra. Moving on.
It's fine. So I just
then
meant like
Cap
how
says-
powerful Cap is. Right?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
even need the ground to crush your throat.
That's right.
I just need my own
Just use
force.
my own momentum. Yeah.
So he calls me and he's like, I saw a big green laser. Like, what should I, or a great green beam in the
Streak,
sky. Like,
yeah.
what should I do? And he's just like, wait, what's happening? Oh, he's like, call the Fantastic Four. She's like, I can't. There's this thing with me and Johnny. I can't. I can't.
Right,
I
yeah.
can't call them.
Not them, anyone but them.
And he's
You didn't even need to do that, by the way. All you needed to do was have her go like, because she realizes like, why did I call Cap in the first place?
yeah.
And it's like you could have just had her be like, that's what makes her go, oh my god, like I'm gonna go through phone tag with all my superhero friends. Like, no, I should solve this problem.
this thing is gonna careen into this small, like, Americana-style town. There's like a Waffle Hut and stuff like that. And she's like, I can't catch it. Like, I can't get to it in time.
Yeah.
And in fact, she doesn't. And she
Nope.
gets caught up in the blast, and so do a bunch of like other things in the town. And when she comes to, she hears all this screaming.
Yeah.
And like, it's really cool. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
like, there's just so much going on. Like, people are just like, ah, my legs, what's happening? Ah, yeah, exactly. You know, like,
Lord.
who's coming? And
God, help
of
me.
course, the ad that's here ruins it for you.
Yeah, why isn't that on the last page?
Ruins
I think they
it
screwed up the printing.
for you.
Oh no, they didn't. They wanted it to be the flip. Oh yeah, that's it. They screwed it up.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it's the Brood.
Cool. The Brood have invaded Earth.
Yeah.
That sounds dope.
Oh. They've invaded Florida.
Oh no.
Or
Georgia?
Maybe Georgia.
I think it's Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She followed it all the way from New York to like Georgia, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool.
And she
That's
did
cool.
say-
That's a cool power.
She's like, I've been flying for like an hour, and
Yeah,
I've never
top speed.
flown
yeah.
this.
It's like I've been sprinting for an hour.
Yeah,
Like, that's how
she's, like,
cool.
exhausted. I
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
a cool
But at the same
description
time,
of it.
maybe should have called someone a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah. Well.
Maybe call the Avengers?
No, he
the
says.
Avengers are literally like Spider-Man, Luke
No, but he also
Cage.
says they're all busy. He's like, I'm in South America, and all the Avengers are occupied. You got to call the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
They know how to
Right.
handle this.
Right.
And she's just like,
No. I'll fight the Brood.
No. To be fair, she doesn't realize at that time that it's as serious as the bird.
Yeah. Maybe she called the Astonishing X-Men. They deal
She's
with
like, maybe it's like a hot guy or something who like, fell out of space.
Oh,
And I can catch him.
Carol has really bad experience with hot guys from space.
I know. It's true. Or maybe some kind of like adorable cat.
Yeah, she has experience with that.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah,
You
so
don't know.
Brian reads Ms. Marvel. That was like their relaunch of that character.
Yeah.
Spinning out of the Avengers books. And finally, we have Ms. Marvel from 2016 from G. Willow Wilson with art by a number of actually people.
It's just two.
It's two, but it's like it's fun because it reminds you of the artist who was on the series before, while also doing the other guy. So it's like Takashi Miyazawa and Adrian Alfona. Secret Wars happened. The Earth ended. The last issue of this series was she and her longtime best friend shared their feelings for each other, and they kiss on a rooftop as the world ends.
Right.
So they die, and then
Along with everyone else.
along with everybody else except for a handful of popular characters.
Right.
But she wakes up and it's a few months later, and it's it's kind of weird, where I'm not sure if she doesn't remember the 8 months, or if she was just so on autopilot that she just wasn't paying
They
attention.
imply that she's really busy. 'Cause
Right.
She's with the
and
Avengers.
she is very busy.
Yeah.
Where she and the Avengers are doing their all new, all different thing. Right? And it's really fun. She's having a great time. And then Tony Stark drops her back off and just to hit real life again.
Yeah.
And it's funny because she's like, well, Iron Man, you were going to help me with my physics homework. He's like, it's Tony Stark when I got the sneakers on, honey. Also,
I got a date.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's
we
got a
get
date,
back
so
to
you got
Ms.
bumped.
Marvel's seemingly normal life in Jersey City, which is also peopled with little, hilariously adorable creatures.
They're like thunder.
Lightning golems.
Yeah,
Yeah, lightning golems.
They were
Like
Lokis.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
I
Great.
want one.
Yeah.
And
But you want a small one.
I want a toy one.
Yeah.
So we established that this is her life now. Also, Stark felt bad the world ended, so he gave them a bunch of money. So they have a sweet ass science program, which doesn't really help Ms. Marvel, but that moving on. So we bump into a couple of Kamala's friends. So they're talking, she's like, "Where's Bruno?" Her best friend and would be object of her affection.
Yeah.
And Bruno's with Mike. And it's like, oh no, is Bruno gay? I don't know what the bait and switch is.
I think it was supposed to be the bait and switch was oh, who's this? New
Who's
friend?
this dude?
Like,
Who's your
I don't-
friend Mike?
He's always
like-
with Mike.
He's
Is this
always
a
with
new
Mike.
Who's this
romance?
Mike?
Yeah. And then we see that Bruno and Mike are hitting up some serious PDA, and Mike is short for Michaela, and she's this new hotness in Bruno's life.
Yeah.
And Kamala's like, oh no, I missed the boat.
When did this
Yeah.
happen?
When did this happen? They're like, it's been happening for months. What's wrong with you? She's like, oh right, I've been too busy being Ms. Marvel to pay attention to my best friend and would-be love of my life. So she goes to class, and Bruno's like, yo, how come you're being so mean to me? He's like, hey, what's the answer to so-and-so? And she's like, what do you want to ask Mike? And he's like, what? But instead of being like any other teenager, he'd be like, oh, I'm just going to internalize this. He's like, hey, how come you're being mean?
It's like
Yeah,
he's known her
very
forever,
proactive.
though.
That's true, yeah.
They've
And
been
she's
friends
like,
since forever.
yeah, and she's like, maybe you should ask your girlfriend. He's like, what, Mike? The person I've been dating for months? What are you talking about?
Also, Mike ain't in this class.
He's very practical. But so the teacher gives them a hard time.
Sorry, look at that.
Look at this turtle in a helmet.
What is that?
What's happening?
Well, that cat's hanging out on top of the lightning golem.
That's
and
a
that
cat.
one has a bowler hat,
cats
and that
are
one has
everywhere.
a yogi.
I love that.
Yeah.
That turtle.
Yeah, that's a very safe turtle.
The tortoise, I guess.
I guess so,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is a weird world.
It's a
It
weird
is.
world.
It is.
Right
that
outside our
this-
window.
The
I
lightning
gotta tell you,
golem's a crossing guard.
This is a Jersey City I want to go to.
No,
Right?
that's a city that I would visit.
Yeah.
They are fixing it up.
They are fixing it up. It is,
Well, they're trying.
Which is covered
yeah.
in this book.
And yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But so Bruno and Kamala are walking home, and they're just talking about how they're doing their back and forth, and how Kamala's trying to reorient herself, and Bruno's like, I'm not changing the way I'm doing business.
Yeah, well, he tells it's you broke up with me.
Exactly.
Or you were like, I can't be with you.
Yeah,
so
'cause of your,
I moved on.
obligations. So
You
I
wanted me to
moved
move
on.
on. I moved on. What are you
You
doing?
told me to. By the way, great dialogue in this book. Willow Wilson nails
It's very realistic.
how kids might talk, and also furthering plot. It's not just Bendis wheel spinning.
Yeah.
Where it's I love you. You love me? Yeah, I love you. Love you. You mean you love me? Love me? I love you. Love you. 12 pages later, nothing happens.
Right.
But
But apparently this happened 8 months ago.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Where
it's
she was like, hey, we can't be together.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
he finally a month and a
It
half
took him
ago.
a long
literally
time, yeah.
a little while ago. Finally, he's okay, I moved on. I went through it.
Right.
I mourned our relationship. But then she sees a billboard of Ms. Marvel saying, you can clean up Jersey City through this company that is gentrifying Jersey City. And she's like, what the hell's this? And one of these like representatives is like, God, this is like douche. He's like, hey, are you like interested in looking at one of our model units? And she's like, what's happening? Why is Ms. Marvel endorsing this shit? Anyway, so she's having like a meltdown, and she's like, and their friends are like, dude, like, what are you talking about? This has been happening. Like, also, you know, like, yeah, Ms. Marvel might be a sellout. What do you want? Like, why are you defending her?
What do you care?
Like, she's like, how could they use Ms. Marvel's? Well, she probably took a bunch of checks. Like, what are you talking about? She's like,
Yeah, she's a sellout.
Yeah, they're like, she's like, maybe not. They're like, oh, that's very sweet of you. You're so cute.
He says, I think he says like
Like
she's
Bruno?
like she's just a public figure. I can do whatever I want.
Oh no, the
Yeah.
sushi guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, well, anybody can use her image,
Yeah.
and it's like,
I don't know if that's how that works.
Yeah, I don't think
You know
that
what
works
she
that
needs?
way.
she screws this up again in the Champions book, where she like they fail to trademark the Champions name, and then like companies start using it to like bury their brand.
You know what she needs? A PR person.
She should call Saraj
Day?
Day.
Oh, and if she does have relationship problems, she should also talk to a psychiatrist.
Yeah, and if
I
she
know a
needs
really
to-
bad one in this book.
If she needs to get some legal advice on how to sue this, she can hire Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
What?
That'd be
We were
great.
making connections to the other books.
Oh, these books. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just making connections to the
the
universe.
larger
Yeah.
Marvel universe. I mean, she could, but she doesn't.
No.
So she goes to like her favorite place, and she shrinks down, and she's looking around. She finds like the like plans
Yeah.
for Jersey City, and how it's like they're gonna steamroll the whole. They're gonna Judge Doom this whole thing. And they're going to make a big freeway. No, they're just going to make it like gentrified.
Yeah.
And one of her buddies who runs like a deli is being muscled out of here, and Ms. Marvels it up, and they bust out some crazy light sticks that just
Yeah.
kick ass.
Why
and
do
take
you have
names.
those?
They're kind of
advanced
like death
weapons?
sticks.
They are a little bit, but you don't want to sell them death sticks. So
But they're like rave sticks too.
they are. And then like
Sandstorm
Sandstorm
comes on.
plays on, and then But she punches them, and she's like, "There, we solved our problems," which is like really funny and metatextual. So then like a bunch of like fun RoboCop reboot surveillance drones show up that look like bees.
They're like wasps.
Yeah.
Yep. They're from
And-
Hope Yards Security. I
Which
guess
is-
Hope Yards is the name
that's-
of the
uh-oh.
development.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Well,
Ms.
they'll make sure that no one's trespassing on their area.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So Ms. Marvel and Radislav go into his truck, which is hilariously specific.
Yes. Decked out.
And they try to outrun these wasp drones, and basically she's like, he's like, what are you talking about? Like, these are your people. Like, you endorsed all their crap. It's like,
Yeah.
that wasn't me! And she gives context, and he's like, oh, okay, well, like, she's like, oh, well, at least we outran them. Like, we're safe. And he's like, well, tell it to them. And it's like the protesters who are the locals who are angry with Ms. Marvel for selling out. So Ms. Marvel shrinks to action figure size and runs away, but she bumps into Bruno, and then the two of them hide in an alleyway, and then Bruno kind of like gives context for like why things didn't work out. Because these are like flashbacks. Of
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, here's what's been happening.
Yeah, we're like
while you
we
were too busy.
we try to like have a connection, and then like a giant frog monster comes to attack the city, and then you gotta like kick its ass.
No, this was like after they had
That's right.
already.
No, I'm
is a
sorry.
flashback.
This is after they were
I'm
like,
saying.
we can't be together. Or she's like, I can't be with you. You deserve better than me. You should go off and have an actual relationship, which she didn't mean at all.
Yeah.
And so like while like he's like going through all of this, like in the aftermath, he's watching her
Save the day.
Yeah, and he's just
And-
like, yeah, no,
and-
we can't be together.
Right, and then he is put into harm's way from the collateral damage of that battle, and
Mm-hmm.
then he clandestinely bumps into Mike.
Yeah. Well, Mike rescues him from. a
That's
falling
right.
bus.
She pushes him out of the way.
Yeah.
And so the two of them have like a meet cute, and then he takes her like out, and they go to a bubble tea place where they find out they have a lot of common interests, and he brings her to meet the family, and the family really ruins his good time by being like, why would you like? You got to tell her eventually that you're actually in love with somebody else, which is like, thanks for that.
She also does the same thing. They meet each other's families.
They do.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. But she's like, he goes, okay, so I got to tell you like the deal, and she's like, yeah, the girl and all the photos of all, like throughout your entire life, like you're in love with her, and he's like, no, I was in love with her.
How did you figure that
And I'm
out?
still figuring it out. Yeah, how'd you figure it out? She's like, it's right in front of everybody. Like I saw it. But basically, they just like they decide, despite his clear still interest in her, they're going to try and push forward and keep the relationship going so that the reader can hate her. And
Because he says, like, look, I wasn't happy for a really long time, and I met you,
And I felt good
and
again. I don't
finally
think
felt
about
happy.
it, which is like a legitimate feeling that I don't think a teenager can articulate, but I still appreciate that it's there.
Yeah, but I also like appreciate that she's not written like a shrew. Like they actually have a
Oh, no.
genuine
She is-
connection.
She is James Marsden in Superman Returns. There's no reason not to like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet you have to not like her because she's not the protagonist.
No, you don't have to not
you
like
don't have
her.
to
I
not.
know,
You
I
just have to hope she dies.
Right.
But she has a great way of looking at it. Where like, look, after everything went down and we all thought we were gonna die.
We all died.
We all died, but we're back.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, more or
when that
less.
all happened, you start realizing like what's really important.
Yeah. No, it's true.
And you're gonna be yourself, and like you have to live like that.
And to reinforce their decision to start dating, Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel fighting a frog monster, runs by, causing more collateral damage, and he's like, oh man, like maybe we should try and help her out. And she's like, why? She's a superhero. She's got it. And he's like, she doesn't need me. Oh, let's go have veal.
Yep.
And then the story ends in this hilarious little like puff cloud thing of the end. Like, it's good for Bruno. Or, like, if you wanted to get Bruno out of the book, you could.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you could make more fun teen drama from Kamala.
Sure.
I'm sure they
Which
will.
was most of this book.
Exactly. But it's like, yeah. So anyway, we got 3 versions of Ms. Marvel, and they're all very different interpretations.
Yes.
Despite the fact that 2 of them are the same character, neither of which is called Captain Marvel, because we have another Captain Marvel themed episode we could do in the future. These are called Ms. Marvel. And I like the Ms. Marvel title. I'm sad that, like, you know, you don't really see it too much. It took a long time from this to go from here to here, but much less time for it to go from here to here.
Yeah.
And they did something really interesting and new with Kamala.
Yeah.
I don't know if she embodies the moniker of Ms. Marvel the way it was meant to be,
Right.
which is to say that like Ms. Marvel is like a feminist icon in terms of like Ms. being the moniker of a person who is differentiating themselves from Mr. or Mrs.
Right.
Well, no, she's differentiating herself
Ms.
from
and-
Miss and Mrs.
Yes.
It's any woman can be a Ms.
Right, a Mrs. or a Miss
It doesn't matter.
can be a Ms, but that way you don't know necessarily if they're married or
Right.
single.
It's not important to her character. She is a superhero.
Exactly.
That's what matters.
Exactly.
She's the first to carry it.
She's the first character to carry the Ms. moniker. And it was actually developed around the same time as her character as well. But we got 3 very different Ms. Marvels here. The question is, which one's the good, which one's the bad, and which one's the ugly? I think we're all going to be unanimous on this one. I'm just prognosticating, but let's go for it. Which one is the good from these 3? Ben, you sighed the loudest. Ethan, what's next?
I think this Ms. Marvel is the good.
I agree.
All right.
I also
Cool.
agree.
Let me say, I actually enjoyed all these books in
I
different
did
ways.
too.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're very different.
They're so different.
That's
They're
right.
like
They're
very
all
possibly
drastically different books
Yeah.
and they're all perfect representations of the time from which they came.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just for me the pacing in this book is the best.
I
Like
get this.
this is so well developed.
Structured.
Yeah, like it's. I felt like it. I think page count wise, it might be the longest,
think it
but it
is.
didn't feel
Didn't
like
feel
it.
like the longest. No,
Because,
it's
like,
absolutely
It's a
right.
breeze to
Like
read.
Wilson does a
It's nice.
really good job of dialogue and, like I said, story pacing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like the art.
Yeah.
It's the
It
only
fits.
reason it's a tough call for me is just because like this is so not for me.
Right.
Like it's hard for me to get really into it, but I recognize like the quality behind this book.
Right.
It's a very different type of comic book. It's not a superhero book.
It's
is
a little bit, yeah.
but it's more about her life.
Well, and she's very street level, so it's kind of like Spider-Man.
should be, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
this one. Oh,
I was
sorry.
gonna say, I think this issue is really just establishing her status quo after a world-ending event.
Yes.
Like, hi, we probably need to just reestablish what her life is like right
And
now.
I had no idea that it was after the world-ending event. Like, not a clue. But
Yeah, I
this
picked up
one-
on that because
Because
of
of
the
the
dialogue. I'm
dialogue.
like, what are you talking about? The world ending? I
Yeah.
guess it's post
Secret Wars.
Yeah.
This
Secret
one
Wars, yeah.
and Ms. Marvel, the other Ms. Marvel #1, are both very a slice of life for her.
Yes.
Like what's going on in
Yeah,
her
let's
life.
look behind the curtain at these 2 different women.
Yeah.
And this is a better book.
I think it's better structured,
Yeah.
and even though this book wasn't for me, I still enjoyed it, and that's the mark of a good book.
yeah.
So yeah, this
Yeah.
is the good.
Yeah, in terms of the bad and ugly, I mean, like,
This is-
Ms. Marvel is the bad for me. I think this is the stupid one, even though, like, it's funny. Like, Jerry Conway does such a good job trying, and it feels like, okay, this has J. Jonah Jameson, Mary Jane, and the Scorpion. This is a Spider-Man book with Ms. Marvel in it, and it's funny because it feels like you could read a Spider-Man book and then go like, hey, where'd they go? Right here. And it's just like a great companion piece to other Marvel books.
Yeah.
Where it's like, see where they went in this adventure.
Right, but
where
that's-
Ms. Marvel faints every half hour.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
doesn't really affect anything that happens to her. She
Yeah.
kicks ass and
She
takes names.
does beat the Scorpion.
She does beat the Scorpion, which is cool.
And Destructor.
But it's
Well,
they beat
it's
each other.
we don't know who wins.
It's clear that she beats Destructor.
Yeah, and then she
just
faints.
passes out.
But like,
She
I
faints.
see where this is going. It's not quite finding its own identity. I think it's
Yeah.
resting on the universe too hard.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of ironic because it's a Marvel book and they all do.
Well, and the
But, like,
fact that like she faints all
So
the time,
much.
it's like,
Yeah.
we still have a long way to go.
yeah, I was very
With the whole
disappointed.
feminism angle.
I was disappointed by her not being aware of her superhero identity. That it was a kind of like that it was almost
doesn't
like Captain
know.
Marvel, where it's like we're gonna switch places. Like no,
Yeah.
Let her just be.
like put on the
hero,
suit.
yeah.
This is like a better version of this, which is why I say this is the ugly technically for me,
Yeah.
and this is the bad only because like who cares? I mean,
Yeah,
like
only because that's the good.
only because this is good, only by default. alone.
Again, in a normal week, this would be
That would be the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because we'd have terrible books.
Yes.
Yeah.
But none of these are really terrible.
No.
Do we have a wrong box recommendation?
No.
No.
No, I got nothing.
Yeah.
It was a reluctant ugly. So you know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm treating this one with kid gloves to say like it's just barely an ugly. This is a terrible book. By modern standards,
Yeah.
this is horrible. If you're judging by the standards of the time, it does feel to me like many other books I've read.
This is
from that
straight up
era.
a Spider-Man book.
Not,
It's
it's
the
not
same
any
people.
worse
No.
than most probably books from that era.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's so goofy.
It's
Yes.
It's so
goofy.
I had fun with it because I was like laughing at it and how like
Yeah.
silly
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
and
but that's
hackneyed it
that's not the
is.
mark of a good book.
That's,
Exactly.
that's not
That's
a good
the
sign
thing.
for Ms.
But-
Marvel.
so it's
That's
really
also
not
not
good.
the era of comics that we were reading.
No, but
Right.
I was
That we're
reading
used
them.
to.
Like I read all these eras, and I got to tell you, like not only is it a product of that time, but like, it feels like that.
Yeah.
But you know what's
and
funny?
I've certainly read worse books from that
I've
time.
read
Oh, I have
Spider-Man.
too.
I've read Jerry Conway books from this exact same year month, and no.
AIM and Destructor?
Those are hilarious.
Oh my God.
They're great
That's
villains.
fun, yeah.
I will say the other thing is like I'm hoping that one day someone will recognize that in the creation and formation of Ms. Marvel as a character, she was friends with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Where's that connection? I've
Yeah.
never seen it
Yeah.
called back. And Jerry Conway's been writing comics from here till now.
Yeah,
So
they-
where the hell is
They pushed the Jessica Drew relationship.
here-
Yeah,
It's like-
and Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones and Carol Danvers are best friends too.
Oh, all these Jessicas.
I know. Well, because Jessica Jones is supposed to be Jessica Drew, but Marvel's like, you can't have Jessica Drew have anal sex. Create your own character. That's literally what it was. Then
All
it's
right.
like, here's Alias.
Okay.
And he's like, no. And he's like, okay, it's Jessica Jones then.
I see what you're doing.
Because it's selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us, and of course, let us know for what you think some themes would be fun to do on this show. We haven't run out of ideas. I'm just interested in
No, we certainly haven't run out of
Oh my
ideas.
God, yeah! But give me all your ideas down in the comments.
Yeah,
below.
like right
Like
away.
with a 1, 2, 3 of what you want.
Exactly, please, thank you. And we'll see you guys next time with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
I'm Tiffany.
So long.